Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to make a fried egg. Now the little part of yolk is going to be 3D, it's going to sit up a little bit higher, but other than that it's just a little fried egg. So we're going to be double banding. You take two bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were one. Our loom is in the standard configuration, which means all columns are the same height, and the open part of the peg is going to be facing towards you, or the arrow is facing towards you. We're going to start by placing two bands here as a follow-on, a lead band, and then we'll take our next two and place them from the centre to the outside. And we'll do the same again here. I do hate it when bands curl up on themselves on the first column. We're actually going to be doing this design using the move it forward technique, so we're going to have 6 columns, but we're only going to be using a single loom to achieve that. It's a pretty simple design, but somebody today in channel asked me in group, and they were looking for one, and somebody else on YouTube had asked me for one, so I figured, hey, sunny side up, let's do one. Now, at this point we're going to put 2 as lead to go across to the other side. Oops, let's make sure I put them correctly. There we go. Now we're going to put 2 from here to here. Oh, I'm sorry, actually, no we're not. We're going to put 2 from here to here, and then 2 from here to here. And we're going to put an end cap on this middle one here. So take a single band, wrap it twice around your hook, and that is where the end cap is going to go. We're going to put crossover bands over, and you just take a single band and stretch them across these pegs like this. Now for the yoke, I'm going to come down to the bottom of our loom, okay, and we're just going to do 2 yellow here. Let me move this up a bit, and 2 yellow here, to here, 2 here, and 2 here. We're going to put an end cap on each of these, single band, wrap it once and twice, and place that on the end. The same here, place it on the end. And one more time, place it on the end, take a yellow band and stretch it over those 3 pegs. We're going to loop this up. We're going to do this now. Oops. Let's be a little bit more gentle. Take this off the loom. Like that. Now we're going to tie it off with white bands, and the reason I'm choosing white is because it's going to sit on here. So take a pair of white bands and slide these on like that. Now we're going to put, it's going to sit on your loom. It's going to sit one side here. We're going to stretch the other side to here. Alright, we're going to leave the other side just like that for the minute. We don't need to do anything with that. We're going to work on these first columns here. So dig down past your end cap and grab the 2 top white bands. Oops, let me do it properly. Here we go, 2 top white bands, hold the end cap in place and loop up. Do the same for the next one. Loop up. We'll loop this one up, and this one up, and loop this one across. We are going to be lifting that one again, but don't worry about that. We can take this off our loom. Okay, try and keep the crossover bands in the right spot. Alright, turn your loom upside down and move the big base plate. Move it forward so that you have this part free. You're going to take this column off, and you're going to move it so that it's sitting flush with the one in front of it. Okay, so this was our lead. These are our lead bands here. I'm going to put lead bands here now. Alright, and take these two and stretch them down. And we'll place our double bands, white, here. Move the egg yolk out of the way. We're going to put two lead bands here on this peg, and we're going to grab these two and move them up. We're going to grab the crossover bands and drag them across. Now, to do this one, you have to be a bit tricky. You're going to have to lift the yoke up and move it the other side of that peg to drag that crossover band over. Alright, like that. And then you can move the yoke back. Alright, I'm not going to secure the yoke just yet. Now, what we're going to do is dig down here and loop this second column up. I'm going to lift this up, hold it out to the side and loop, and then put that back. Alright, I'm also going to dig down here and loop these two top ones to the right. What have I done here? Hang on a second. There we go. It was caught on the edge of the hook, of the peg. Then I'm going to dig down and loop this up, loop up, dig down, loop this up here. Now I'm going to lift this up and hold it, loop up, and whoops, let my bands fly, loop that back, and then I'm going to loop it up and up, and this up to here. Okay, so I have looped that in. We can take this second column off the loom. Turn your loom over, move your base plates. We're moving the mini base plates this time. We're leaving the big one where it was, okay? Move those two, that one and that one. And then take your column of pegs and move it forward. The two that were here, are going to be stretched down to here. But first, let's put our lead bands for the next and last column. So we'll put those there like that, so that they can go to the next one. Place our bands, 1 and 2, and we're going to put a pair here as well to go to the other column when we need to. Drag your crossover bands over. Alright, now what we're going to do at this stage is put our hook through the 3 little loops that are the end cap on each of these columns of yoke. Taking 2 white bands, you're going to thread those over like this onto it, okay? And then your first one is going to go here, and your second one is going to go here. Okay, so here and here. Let's grab our hook, loop these 2 top white ones to the right, and then we can do our center column. We're going to loop, find the 2 white bands here and loop up. Take these 2 off the loom and hold them out, loop up and replace these, and then loop up. Now this time we're going down, we're going to find the one that comes down at the horizontal, diagonal, loop up and pull down. Alright, we can take this big center one off. Please be careful that you don't by accident take this middle column off. Keep that on the peg, push everything down. We're moving the big base plate, move it forward, move your column of pegs. We don't need to put any lead bands on now because all we're doing, this is our last column, we're moving this one to here and we're moving this one to here. Drag your crossover band over, dig down, find the 2 top bands and loop up the middle column. Now we're going to dig down and find those 2 bands that have to come down here, and then we're going to find the other 2 that come down here, and we're going to tie off at this point. So take 2 white bands, poke your hook all the way through and put the white bands on the end, pull them through to the back of the peg, take the closest to you up, over and off, and pull tight. Now we can take this off the loom. As my box of bands crash around me. Now I did not do it as a perfect circle. I didn't really want it as a perfect circle. Eggs very rarely are, so it's sort of a bit misshapen. I'm going to take these tie-off bands and I want to hide them in between these loops here. So I'm going to grab them with my hook, and I've probably picked a really bad hook to do this. This has no hook to it. Let's push this one through, poke it up, put the bands on, the tie-off bands, and drag it back, and then move it forward like that. Let's move them down a little bit further. So that they're on the inside of the egg. And there we have a little fried egg. Grubs up. Enjoy making. Take care.